So I figured today I have the privilege of welcoming you to Google's Developer Day 2015. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about how we view the opportunity in mobile games with all of our platforms and services, and then take you through some of the new announcements that we're really excited to share with you today. As you all know, Android is incredibly popular, and the platform has grown tremendously since we launched it in 2008 with the G1 to a mere few thousand users. 6 short years later, it's the most popular mobile operating system platform in the world, accounting for 3 out of every 4 smartphones and 3 out of every 5 tablets. And Android's not only popular, but it's amazing to see how powerful the platform's become. And we know that more than 85% of Android devices are now running Android 4.0 and higher, and that's growing every day. But if you look beyond just market share, the aggregate size of the Android device base is equally impressive. It's grown exponentially over the last few years, and its velocity continues. We crossed this milestone last year, announcing that we have over 1 billion active devices around the world. That scale is truly unprecedented. And when you take a games lens to this, there's 3 in 4 Android users playing games from Google Play. That is a lot of people playing games, needless to say, and this kind of audience makes Google Play one of the most interesting opportunities for game developers today. Android's also a truly global platform, and judging from the audience, we know that you're coming from all corners of the globe, and the scale of our international growth is pretty amazing. We have partnerships with 60 devices all over the world that are running on 329 distinct carriers, and the people using Android come from over 190 countries. When you kind of combine all that together, this might be the largest platform of people playing games perhaps ever created, and our investments here are going to continue. One of the areas that we invest in really heavily is also in our global payments infrastructure. In the past few years, we've done great integrations with carriers for billing. We're doing that now in 32 countries around the world. We've accelerated the rollout of Google Play gift cards in retail locations, and we have that now in 28 countries. And PayPal is a form of payment in 19 countries and going strong. I'm also happy to say that with this growth of Android and Google Play, it's paying off for developers too. Last week we announced that Google Play has paid out over $7 billion to developers over the past year, and that makes the opportunity for apps and games really intense. And so starting from phones and tablets and going to TVs, wearables, and cars, Android is expanding. And while Android and Play are these platforms that make these devices possible, the truth is the games that you create and the apps that are brought to the ecosystem is what makes them really worthwhile. And so that's one of the reasons why we're big on helping you tap into this opportunity. Google helps take your games to new heights through our strengths in mobile and in cloud services. This collection of platforms and services help you distribute to a mass audience, promote and monetize your game, and build your audience and measure your success. So that's the opportunity in a nutshell. What I want to do is switch to talking the new stuff, and it can be thought of in these 3 buckets. We'll talk about new things to measure and monetize your game. We'll talk about the living room, and then we'll talk about completely new game experiences that are emerging. So on the measurement front, when you publish your game through Google Play, you get really key tools from Google Play Services and the Google Play Developer Console. These are essential to running an effective game business in our ecosystem. Some recent announcements in the Developer Console involve our conversion rate reports. This is the percentage of users who have purchased an in-app item or subscription since they installed the game, and our spending per buyer report, which shows you users and what they've spent cumulatively since they made their first purchase. Of course, really essential when you're updating your game to understand how player spending behaviors are changing over time and understanding whether their lifetime value is working out the way that you expect. We also announced the ability to programmatically access play data. So if you have internal tools where you want to bring in this data and analyze it yourself, or use it in third-party tools or other query engines like Google's BigQuery, that's available to you now as well. In past announcements, we've talked to you about Google Play Games, our game network, which continues to grow and help developers engage and retain their users. It is growing at a rapid pace, and we see more and more developers incorporating it and seeing great results. If you have exemplary implementations for things like achievements leaderboards, quests. We're finding developers able to substantially retain their users, increase their lifetime value and their revenue as a result. Now, last year we talked to you about bringing you demographic data and key business metrics for the Google Play Developer Console if you've incorporated game services. And after experiencing the benefits of that data, many of you are actively using it, but also told you wanted more. You wanted more player insights and you wanted more key business metrics. So we've heard you, and I'd like to invite my colleague Ben onto the stage to tell you about a new feature that we call Play Games Play Analytics that's launching soon. Ben.
Excellent. Which one of these buttons is the move forward?
You go right.
Right.
And the center button's the laser pointer, essential.
Center button, laser pointer, check. All right. I think we're all set. So, thank you, Greg. So, creating a great game is no longer enough to be successful in mobile gaming. It's still required, but it's now an insufficient condition for success. And as we look at the mobile gaming landscape, it's increasingly split into two camps. Those with the resources and tools to manage their game as a service, and everyone else. And when we look at larger developers that successfully manage their game as a service, we find that they do three things really well. One, they set and manage their business to daily revenue targets. Two, they can identify hotspots in their business metrics so they can continuously focus on the updates to their game that will have the most impact. And three, they use analytics to understand how their players are progressing, spending, and churning. So what does it take for a typical big studio to do all these things? Well, a big studio will have many teams managing all the different functions of a game studio. So you'll have a team of people focused on game development, obviously, a group of data scientists focused on analytics, and teams for operations and infrastructure support and marketing, and so on. On the other hand, this is what you, the indie developer, probably looks like. A small team, possibly just one developer doing everything. Now, this indie developer here, this happy guy with the green hoodie, like, he wants to spend all of his time focused on building games, right? I'm sure many of you in the audience feel the same way. And you know what? That leaves very little time for everything else. And it's bridging this gap between what the big studios can do and what you, the indie developer, can do that was the primary motivation for what we're excited to announce today, Play Games Player Analytics. So it's launching in the next few weeks in the Play Developer Console. And this new tool will enable you to do the three things I just described. Manage your business to daily revenue targets, identify hotspots in your business metrics so you can continuously focus on the updates to your game that will have the most impact. And three, understand how your players are progressing, spending, and churning. And all of Player Analytics is available for free in the developer console for everybody who integrates Play Game services. So I'll quickly walk you through the set of experiences we'll be providing at launch. So everything starts with you setting your daily revenue targets. And from there, once you've done that, you can come back into the developer console every day and check to see if you're on track to meet your business objectives. And as you can see in the chart here, this developer has set their daily revenue target to $125, is on track to exceed their monthly goal, and you know what? At the end of the month, they should probably consider raising their target higher. But if it wasn't a positive trend in the data that they were seeing, and they were below the line, then this report would end up being the starting point of an investigation into how they can improve their game. And to help you focus on the areas where your game updates will have the most impact, we give you the ability to identify hotspots in your business metrics. So first, we compute a set of benchmarks from a variety of inputs, including the category that your game is in. And based on those benchmarks, we create a heat map of your key financial and engagement metrics. Metrics highlighted in red are likely to offer the best opportunity for improvement. And as you can see here, this game developer is doing pretty well overall. See that sea of green there in the chart at the bottom? Green is good. And so there is one exception. Average revenue per user is in dark red and trending down, and well below the benchmark for similar games. And this developer can now have a laser focus on improving just one thing now, and that's average revenue per user. And to help you better understand how your players are progressing, spending, and churning, we give you this classic retention table and player progression funnel, as you can see here. Now, everything I just described is available to you by virtue of your integration with Play Game Services with near zero incremental effort. But for a little extra work, you'll be able to unlock another set of valuable reports with a Sources and Syncs report, which I'll go over in a second, starting off. Throughout the development of Player Analytics, we have been fortunate to work with some amazing partners, and one of them is in the room today. And I can see him right there. That's Eric Fromling, the developer of Bomb Squad. Go ahead and wave to the crowd here. You're going to want to talk to him after this and learn a little bit more about his experiences with Player Analytics. So Eric is the archetype of that indie developer that I was describing before, but without the green hoodie. And he's a one-man army that does everything for his critically acclaimed game, Bomb Squad, including having built the underlying game engine, which is extremely impressive. And when we started working with Eric a month or so ago, we could tell Eric had a great game on his hands. Millions of downloads, engaged users, a loyal fan base. But like many of you in the audience who also have a great game, he was struggling to make money. So when Eric started to dig into the player analytics data, in particular the Sources and Syncs report you can see here, he was immediately able to spot an imbalance in Bomb Squad's game economy. He was giving away tickets, his premium currency, at a higher rate than people were able to spend them. And under those conditions, there was little reason for people to purchase tickets. And so he made a couple of changes to his game. He added new ways to consume tickets in the single player and multiplayer modes in his game to bring his economy back into balance. And the impact has been transformational for Eric. So in addition to correcting the economy imbalance, Eric has seen more than double in growth in average revenue per user and seen average revenue per paying user grow by almost 70%. That's almost unheard of growth in such a short period of time. So congratulations, Eric. And in his own words, Player Analytics has helped me home in on Bomb Squad's shortcomings, right the ship, and get to the point where I can financially justify making the games I want to make. And Player Analytics has now successfully bridged that gap I was describing before between the big studio and what the indie developer can do, and he can run his game as a live service. So to recap, Player Analytics will help you do 3 things to manage your game as a service. 1, set and manage your business to daily revenue targets. 2, identify hotspots in your business metrics so you continuously focus on the updates to your game that will have the most impact. And 3, deepen your understanding of how your players are progressing, spending, and churning. And again, all of these reports will be available for free in the developer console in the next few weeks. Now, creating a successful game is still a lot of work, but with Player Analytics, integrating with Play Game Services is a great first step to success. So with that, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Mr. Ben. That was pretty exciting. I also want to switch over to talking about monetization and also get us back on time. We've got a clicker and we're going to use it. So successful game developers, we know, deploy sophisticated monetization models for their games, and ads plays a really important role in that exercise. When you think about a good ads monetization strategy, it really depends on these 3 things. 1 is you need to understand your users in a very deep way. You want to be able to tailor your game experiences to those audiences and react to how they behave. 2nd is you want to show ads at the right time. And this is so you can maximize revenue for people who are likely to spend, and also have a variety of ad formats. And those ad formats help you find the balance between when you show an ad and how you keep users properly engaged in your game. Now, if you've gone through the exercise of thinking about building this yourself, or if you've done that, it's a big investment, both in software engineering resources, know-how, and not to mention the back-end infrastructure. Meanwhile, AdMob can provide all these tools that you need And I'm excited to share with you three big announcements for ads that represent really a platform that's a smart, audience-aware platform for showing the right ads to your players. The first of these tools is called Audience Builder. It's now available to all AdMob developers who use Google Play Analytics or Google Analytics globally. Audience Builder through AdMob is this way of creating a list of users or audience lists based on Google Analytics segments. These can be based on behaviors like sessions or spending, and it enables you to play with different monetization strategies with those users. So a canonical example might be taking a segment of users that were previously paying users who had churned out after 30 days, creating an audience list for them, and then creating an ad campaign to try to attract them back to your game. The second tool is called in-app purchase house ads. House ads are, as some of you know, free ads you display in your game to promote in-game items and consumables that players might want to enhance their gameplay. A challenge with house ads, of course, though, is that everybody's at a different stage in your game. Early players are probably going to be interested in a different set of purchasable items versus advanced players who may be more nuanced. AdMob solves this with Google algorithms and machine learning to only show these types of ads to users who are likely to take advantage of them. We do all that work for you so players can get the ad that they want, and for everybody else, you can focus on creating a different experience. And lastly, we're incredibly excited to announce a new format, native ads, which is available through a limited beta. Native ads is this popular industry term that's used to describe an ad experience that essentially weaves into the product's form and function, so it looks like it belongs. Google has a lot of experience doing this well, and we're bringing that capability to game developers today. Native ads benefits users, advertisers, and developers. From a user experience, it is a better user experience when the ad looks like it actually belongs in your game. And advertisers see stronger or can see stronger performance when it looks like it's natively styled. And as a developer, you get to preserve more of the creative direction of your game when you add ads into your experience while gaining the benefits of the revenue opportunities that ads can provide you. Let's take a closer look at what Atari's up to with Roller Coaster Tycoon 4 incorporating native ads. You can see from here that it fits very well within the visual style of the game and shows you how you can easily integrate it into, for example, user interfaces, so again, it looks like it belongs. Native ads can take the form of an app install or promoting new content, and it pulls from our network of over 1 million Google advertisers. Your game simply just gets the metadata for the ad. This is the headline, the app icon, even the store rating, and you decide how to render it in your game using Google guidelines. And this is available for Android and iOS. It's in limited beta right now, but it's one that we're excited to expand in 2015. Let me switch over to talking about the living room. The message today is your Android game is really not all that far from making it into living rooms today. We launched Android TV at Google I/O in June of last year, bringing Android into the living room for big screen apps, games, and content. It's controlled easily through voice and remote, and as a platform, it's going to come in a variety of flavors. You're going to see it on smart TVs, micro consoles, and set-top boxes. This year, we're really excited about the ecosystem that's growing, and OEMs are bringing those different form factors to the world that all use the same operating system and experience. And that alone is a unique phenomenon when you think about the history of the living room. And a lot of partners are going all in. Sony, for example, is committing all of their compatible 2015 smart TVs to Android TV. And these pay TV operators that you see here are switching their entire platform to set-top boxes using Android TV as well. Bringing your game to Android TV is very straightforward, and in most cases, it's going to be a purely incremental effort from a development standpoint. Because it's stock Android using the same services as mobile and tablet, you're going to be able to bring all of that over with a lean-back experience and get the same APIs. The Play Store continues to be the distribution point of record, so you have a familiar distribution and promotion capability there with all of the functionality that you've come to expect from us. And lastly, from a standards point of view, we have user experience guidelines for apps and games to develop a higher quality ecosystem, but also hardware accessory standards for accessories like gamepads. All of these combine for a fantastic living room experience, and we can't wait to see the growth and what you bring to Android TV. But we also have a goal of actually making the gaming experience more dynamic in the living room. This is especially in a world where, from my own personal point of view, like local multiplayer and second screen experiences. And so today we're announcing something that we call the Nearby Connections API. With this new protocol, games can seamlessly connect smartphones and tablets to games on the TV in front of them. The protocol simply allows the instances of games running on phones, tablets, and TVs to find each other on the same Wi-Fi network. We then create a peer-to-peer network between them, and you can communicate between those devices. And this allows you to create truly amazing local multiplayer and second screen devices with devices sitting in your pocket. But seeing is believing. We've worked with Vector Unit, who's a local developer here with the creators of Beach Buggy Racing. It's a kart racing game you can actually play on Android TV today. Let's turn it over to the team to tell you about what they've been up to with Beach Buggy.
Hi Greg, hi GDC attendees, you're looking great today. So I'm here with Ben from the Google Play Game Services team, and we're going to be playing a multiplayer game of Beach Buggy Racing. But we only have one controller and a whole bunch of Android phones. So Ben, how are we going to make this work?
So fortunately, the developer of Beach Buggy Racing Vector Unit has implemented something called the Nearby Connections API. That allows us to connect our Android devices to the Android TV and use them as controllers. And it's broadcasting a signal behind the scenes saying, hey, all the phones nearby, I'm available to connect.
And now the race begins.
Special power.
So notice now that we've started playing, your phone has changed. What's going on here?
As my hands tilt back and forth, you can tell that an accelerometer now is being used to drive. But more importantly, there's a couple of really unique things that are going on the that I can do now with an Android device as a controller that are difficult to do with a standard controller. And so the first thing is there's these extra annotations on the screen here, like in the upper right-hand corner, you can see I have this nitrous booster icon, which I can press. Then on the left-hand side, I've got my special powers. We've got some brake pads down at the bottom, so I can take these corners a little better. And of course, there's some animated dials in the middle indicating how fast I'm going.
Woo!
Let's play again.
All right, we're going to do a rematch here. Greg, we're going to let you take over. Bye, Moscone.
Ciao.
We can't wait to see how these experiences will unfold. I want to show you another quick video from the developers who make a game called Lyrical. Lyrical is a game that allows you to compete against friends based on how well you know song lyrics, and they're going to be updating their game later this year to support Android TV. Both of those games look really exciting. I can't wait to play them. Beach Buggy Racing and Lyrical are launching later this year, supporting Nearby Connections. The Nearby Connections API launches in the next few weeks through Android on Google, an update to Google Play Services. Let me close out talking about some of the new gaming experiences that we're trying to foster. One of the platforms we announced at Google I/O last year was the Cardboard platform, and its vision is fairly simple, making virtual reality accessible to everyone and the immersive experiences that come with them. Cardboard enables the broadest reach of any VR platform today, and its momentum is actually pretty amazing. We announced in December that they shipped 500,000 devices, and it's been growing quickly since then. And early access developers have created over 250 apps and games, which you can search for on the Play Store today. But we're also excited about a new generation of headsets that are emerging. These are just two examples of new headsets that work with Google Cardboard. This means your games designed for Cardboard will work on these devices as well. Mattel announced a new ViewMaster that supports Google Cardboard, and LG is shipping a headset with every one of their 3G phones. Quick show of hands in the audience, who grew up with a ViewMaster? I'm also here to tell you today that your childhood was awesome, and that we're excited to see the hardware vendor ecosystem grow up around Cardboard and bring these immersive experiences to everyone. You can learn more about Cardboard later in our code labs today, or you can go to the link on the screen, g.co/cardboard, and learn more. Let me talk about Project Tango, which is in developer preview right now. This is a project that from our advanced technology groups that's attempting to give devices an understanding of space and motion. So when you think about it, you can walk into this room and you have an understanding of the walls around you, the chairs, the people, and that's how you kind of negotiate around the room. We want to give devices a similar kind of understanding. And so Project Tango does this by adding another wide camera lens to a device, depth sensing camera, and a software stack that gives you access to all of that through your app. There's a lot of really interesting experiences that have been created from the 2,000 developer preview devices that we shipped already, 300 apps that have been created over developers from 30 countries. I want to show you a quick video from Left Field Labs. It's an example of a 3D drawing application where you use the Tango to draw things in the space in the room around you. That looks like a pretty cool experience. The ambient electronic music doesn't ship with Tango. And finally, let's talk about Android Auto and games. No, I'm kidding. Just don't do that. Playing games and driving is a bad idea. We might be able to fix that one day, though. All right, thank you for your time in opening up. I want to let you know that we're hiring. Come to our code labs later today, and let me turn it back over to Kirk. Thank you, thank you.